Hi digital media students, this video is going to demonstrate how to create a commercial in GarageBand. When you open GarageBand, there are different presets available that you can choose based on what kind of project you're going to create. We're just going to use the empty project template. It'll then ask you what type of track, and we're going to choose the second option, which is record using a microphone. Now let's save your project by going to File, Save, or you can press Command S, and let's call it Commercial. Make sure you keep the default location, which is the GarageBand folder, so that you can find it easily later on. Now you'll need to turn off your counter and your metronome buttons, or they will be very annoying later on. Let's also clean up your workspace by turning off the smart controls down below and your sound library to the left. You're now ready to begin recording the narration for your commercial. Be sure you have your script in front of you and make sure you read in a clear, expressive voice. Press the record button or use the shortcut R. Your smile says you're happy, confident, but if you're uncomfortable with your teeth, your smile could be saying just the opposite. So I've recorded just the first line of my commercial, and I already have three things that I need to fix. I have blank space at the beginning, and then I have stuttering in the middle, and then at the end I have this loud click. So I'm going to go to the beginning of my audio region, go down to the bottom half, grab a handle, and pull back to trim that dead space off. Now I'll go to the end of the audio region, and I need to zoom in, so I'm going to press Command and the right arrow key, and then grab that same tool to trim off that loud click at the end. Now I'm ready to get rid of my stuttering in the middle. So I'm going to go to the spot I've identified in the middle where I stutter, stop the playhead, position it, and then go to my menu bar and click on Edit, Split Track. And do the same thing at the end of the stuttering. Edit, Split Track. And now I can push those two regions back together, and when I play it, I shouldn't be able to tell that I stuttered. Your smile says you're happy, confident, but if you're uncomfortable with your teeth, your smile could be saying just the opposite. If you'd like, you can join the two separate regions into one region. All you need to do is select the regions using a shift click and then go to Edit, Join Regions, or press Command J. Now let's add a vocal preset to the narration to improve the sound. The first thing you need to do is show your library panel, so click on the button in the top left corner, and then you're going to choose the voice category, and there are 12 different options under voice. The narration vocal preset is probably the most traditional. You'll notice that each time you click on a different preset, the dials in your smart control panel below will adjust. You can adjust these dials individually if you'd like. To drag the dial left or right, you'll actually need to drag up and down in a vertical fashion. More than likely, you'll be recording in a somewhat noisy room, especially here in the classroom. You'll need to remove any background noise. First of all, make sure your Smart Controls panel is showing. Then check the noise gate box in the bottom left corner. Drag the slider to the right to reduce any background noise. One word of caution: if you drag too far to the right, you will actually remove the narrator's voice as well. Try using a setting of -24 decibels to begin with. Now, adjust the volume for your narration to -6 decibels using the track volume slider. This is a standard setting and usually works for most voices. The last thing you need to do is add music to your project. There's usually an introduction or an intro before the narration begins, and then the music fades into the background as the narration plays, and then the music comes back up as the narration ends to signal the end of the commercial. Then finally it fades to nothing. The first thing we need to do is move our narration track to the right by 3 or 4 seconds to give some room for the introduction. Then go to either the media browser or your loop browser to find music you would like. I'm going to use one of the loops provided by GarageBand, and you can either search by instrument, genre, or mood. I'm going to use Disco Fever guitar. Simply drag it over into your workspace and it will create a new track for you. The loops usually only last about 10 to 30 seconds, so you'll need to grab your loop tool in the upper right corner of your region and drag to the right. Now you're ready to add fade in and fade outs to your song using the automation curve feature. To display your automation curves, either go to the menu bar and click on Mix, Show Automation, or you can click on the letter A. The curve shows up as a yellow skinny line and comes with one control point at the very beginning. Double check to make sure that it is at -6 decibels. Then we're going to place 2 more control points on the curve, one at the beginning of the narration and one 2 to 3 seconds into the narration. We'll pull that second point on the curve down to about -14 or 15, and that's where it will stay the remainder of the narration until just the end. We'll add 2 more control points at the end, one 2 to 3 seconds before the end and one right at the end, and we'll pull that music, the volume, back up to the -6. And then finally, the last 2 to 3 seconds, what we call the outro, go ahead and pull it back down to nothing. Now let's listen to it and see what we think. To quickly bring your playhead back to the beginning of the audio region, you can hit the return key and then hit the space key to play it. Your smile says you're happy, confident, but if you're uncomfortable with your teeth, your smile could be saying just the opposite. So I noticed the overall volume was in the orange and yellow region of the volume slider. So I'm going to adjust it just a little bit to the left and pull that volume down. Now, if you're satisfied with your project, you're ready to share it so that other people can listen to it. You need to go to Share in your menu bar, click on iTunes. There's information you can fill in if you want to, but basically the one thing you need to pay attention to is quality, and I usually set mine to high quality. Click on the share button and it will compress your files into one smaller AAC file that you can share with anyone. If you'd like to hear my finished commercial, click on the link in my webpage. So you're now ready to create your first commercial. Good luck!